Yes, yes, yes. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's your brother coming at you. All right. How do I sound? Yeah. All right. Welcome, welcome, Sacred Wednesday Circle family. It's your brother coming to focus in, and come to you from the evening energy on the mountain here. Tomorrow is a busy day. There's demands on your brother, so want to make sure we touched base this week. So I'm pre-recording the session for you as we move towards summer solstice. Such an important time that I must take every opportunity I have to connect with you and create immersion day. So stay tuned for that time. All right. Yes, so much going on, so much building, so much illumination of the sun as it's climbing to its peak. Creative energies are blossoming. So let's dive in as we are entering this new month. Can you believe it? Half the year has, we've traveled halfway around the sun. So anyway, let's take advantage of our time. Now is the moment. Pressing the palms together. Forearms are parallel to the earth. Pressing the thumbs into the sternum. We'll tune in with the sound. And you can simply chant the sound and feel the vibration as you bring the lips together to make the M sound if you want to deepen into the tune in. And create it as a meditation for yourself and involve the energy of your body. You can lift the muscles of the pelvic floor if it's comfortable for you. Creating the sound ah after you lift the muscles. And then to create the sound you get into that U sound, draw up the navel point, move into the M. Feeling the body as this instrument that allows the sound current to articulate itself. And then you, as an embodiment of creation, sets forth the creative energy in your life. And I can say I am looking to deepen into it because raising the vibration of your being allows you to have higher vibrational experiences. So let's open up our sacred circle space with that sound current that set creation into moment. Why do we chant that? If you're new to this, it is said in the ancient ways of the yogic texts, how did creation come into existence? There was a deep stillness embodied by consciousness and prana. They were one. And then this movement emerged. This movement as a desire, if you will, to move from one to many. I am one, I want to become many. So we still embody the oneness, Amun de Bushmaya, great parent of creation, one with its creation, in the Kundalini Yoga mantra, Ek Onkar, the creator and its creation are one. We have these sayings throughout all traditions about our oneness. And this mantra acknowledges that oneness as that sound, AUM, was the sound that allowed creation to move forth into manifestation, move forth into becoming many, of which we are part, and we are the oneness. So let us dive into this mantra, feel it. When you're at home, and if you ever feel any overwhelm, just practice raising this vibration. If there are any thoughts that disturb you, just dive into this vibration and see what happens when you give your sincere effort to be with it and allow it to flow through you. And as I was saying, if you want to deepen into it, lift the muscles of the pelvic floor before the A sound, and lifting the navel point in and up. You can imagine your belly button going in and up before you create the U sound, ooh, and then creating the M sound, drawing in the chin just slightly, so you can get that sense of your throat area opening and vibrating. Feel it rise. Closing your eyes. Press the thumbs into the sternum. Aware of yourself as a vibrational being. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Inhale to begin. Lift the muscles of the pelvic floor. Letting the breath really fill. Last one. Inhale deeply. Lift the muscles of the pelvic floor as long as it's comfortable for you. Draw the navel point in and up. Sense yourself as vibration. Exhale. Just close your eyes for a moment and just sense yourself as vibration. So here we are, 6th month of the year. We've traveled halfway around the sun. So incredible. And so as this is the 6th month, then we are moving into the 6th energy center, the brown chakra, the place, the seat of intuition, the place where this union of this physical experience and its interpretation by the mind coming in from the circumstances that we analyze with the mind, and the information that bubbles up from within, the intuition, the inspiration, the mind perceiving that communication. And it is in this brow point where they meet, and the vision of the two eyes meets the one eye, and then boom, that intuition guides, no longer just ruled by circumstances, information that comes in through the 5 senses. And that's where we're at here, acknowledging that in this month, where the sun is rising in the sky, illuminating our life more than any other time of the year, this is also the time for us that gather around this fire of love, as I officially welcome you to our Sacred Wednesday Circle. We're gathering around this fire of love, which is the information within us about who we truly are. And we look to the ones that have gone before us and that have discovered who we truly are. And they've written down certain things, whether it is from the yogic texts or the texts in the Middle East, Middle Eastern area of the world, the ancient ones that were around the pyramids, or the indigenous ones that were across the Americas. We're saying that there is that knowledge that has been passed on, as well as the knowledge of who we are that dwells within. Your heart speaks about it, your lungs speak about it. If we can get still to hear, then we can dive into this topic. We can know the way to break through limits and find our creative voice, recover our creative voice, remember our creative voice. Our topic is how to break through limits and find our creative voice. For those of us that are, coming to this place of realizing we need to change, or maybe you're coming to the place of realizing something has to change because the way things are going, I can't take it that way anymore. Something has got to change. And even though it may look like the world has no news, broadcasted news of change. I know you're seeing the little spaces and rays of light flowing through the clouds that are giving us a glimpse of our ability to be guided by love, our ability to look out for each other and treat each other compassionately. Our abilities are present. That ability to love is present. Even when it comes to loving ourselves and taking care of this body the way this heart takes care of this body. Hey, what's going on? Got a little beetle friend. Where you at? I don't need you to make too much noise. Almost. Hold on. Beetle friend. We'll make a lot of noise. Hold on. Be right back. You let him outside. Right there. Just came in. Look at that catch. Right there. Hold on. All right. Mission complete. So I want to read to you a little bit about how the body is designed energetically to allow the breaking through. The breaking through are those thoughts that limit you. You know what they are. So let's review for some of us, but go through these ways in which the body is designed to move you beyond the limits and discover the true creative abilities. Yeah? Okay. First of all, I want to touch base as we are moving through this year, being in alignment with the flow through the months connected to these energy centers in our body. So we begin talking about our energy centers and the system within us, that we're not just physical, but we also have an energetic system as well. And one of the main components of that system that we're going to talk about today are the chakras, these wheels of light that harness the life force energy and gives us an awareness of life from different perspectives, if you will. Like the first energy center that rests at the tailbone. This energy center, this first energy center, will have us be aware of our identity and how we can allow that identity to flow authentically. So there's a sense of patience. There's a sense of establishing security and confidence. All right? So that is a state of consciousness. So we move into the second chakra. And then there are these aspects of duality, creativity, pro-creativity, where now there's this manifestation that begins to take place in this state of consciousness, right? And so on. But we're going to be in the sixth chakra, since we're in the month of June now. And the sixth chakra is opening us as we journey through. I guess I'll just continue journeying just briefly through them. So as we come to that creative energy, that procreative energy, and all of the hormonal aspects of what it is to create with each other, to join with one and bring forth another being, to be creative in the sense of your own writing of a book, rather than giving birth and bringing a child into creation. But these are all of the ways that we step into duality and become that consciousness as a manifester. And then there's a sense of joy in that manifestation, right? And then when the shadowy, congested energy begins to show up, there's a sense of fear that can show up, right? In the first center where we are open to our identity, if there's the shadow energy or congestion in that center, then we can become over-consumed with our individuality. And then there's a sense of fear, right? That we have to preserve ourselves, and we have a natural mechanism inside for that. There's an overactive sense of control, of self, projected onto other. And then as we rise, let's say we're rising in a balanced way to the third energy center. And then there's that sense of willpower, a sense of being able to assimilate. That intuitive, earthly sense of self begins to emerge in this chakra, that third chakra. And we have that sense of self, ability to assimilate, these digestive qualities on an energetic level. That ability to assimilate brings this sense of intuition, knowing that gut reaction, you know exactly what to say no and when to say yes. And that moves us up as we rise in vibration, we rise to be able to see beyond the need for willpower. We have the next intuitive faculty of the heart, expanding us into the energy of compassion, right? And a sense of love, And there becomes this awareness and this awakening that is very balancing in this energy center, where we truly become aware of self, not just as this earthly being, but we begin to become aware of ourselves as an energy being. And with that energy, with the way that ability comes into us, then we're able to speak and name in that manifesting process. And then we have our throat center, where there's this deep sense of trust in this flow of life force that comes to us, this love that allows us to exist. We become aware of what we are to name, and then we come into the sixth energy center. And this begins the process of completing our flow throughout the spinal column, because this energy center kind of is at the top of the spinal column. So we've risen through this physical elevation of life to this, in a sense, this highest point. Now we can see as if we're at the top of the mountain, and we can see what life is really all about. We have the two eyes as well as the energetic eye, right? The first eye. There's also these energy centers that flow up the central column of the spine. And there's that central column, the Shushumna, And then there are the two channels, Ida and Pingala. Ida on the left, Pingala on the right. These are the sun and moon energies, or the moon and sun, respectively. Ida, the moon, Pingala, the sun. Now, we are bringing all the energies and we're gathered at the top of that mountain. And now, not only can we see, but we can see. With our eyes closed, we can see. And this intuition comes as a guidance to how to use the vision. And here is where we come in as I just read a little clip about the energy vortices called the chakras. They can act as switches for illuminating the higher faculties and aspects or dimensions of consciousness. So we go through a challenge. Let's say we don't have enough money in the bank to take care of the things that are lining up in our life. So we can look at it as not enough, and when we go into a higher state of consciousness, we can begin to see, okay, there are abilities in me that can meet the needs. What do I need to do so that I can develop or express the abilities in me that will manifest what I need to take care of what's in my hands to handle, right? So you begin to move into a higher consciousness of recognizing there's an ability in you to meet the need to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of, rather than being hyper-focused on the contrast. Like I might be doing my meditations, but I still don't have enough. And so that's a lower vibrational observation of things. So the opportunity is to step into observing your ability. That ability might be just to make the phone call, to ask if there are any programs that help out the person in my situation. That could be the ability. Not necessarily that action is going to solve the whole thing, but it is our willingness to be part of the creative process. As intuition will come, the more we clear out our channels, the more we will begin to hear, to see, and to step into that action that leads us to how we need to focus, what we need to focus on, and what we need to do. Yeah? All right, so just to speak a little bit about this energy center, talking about the sixth energy center. Because as we begin to open up to the revelations and experiences ourselves as more than just physical, more than just the fear that we may have about something happening that we're trying to prevent from happening because of lack in some shape or form. That we get a sense that as we open up these energy channels, we get a sense that there's a deeper awareness to access. There's a deeper awareness to access. And when we come to the point where we are with the breath now, we'll be going into it right after this. Using the breath, we can clear these particular channels we just spoke of, the Ida and Pingala, left and right, and the central channel. When there are energies that get stagnant, we start to have the thoughts that point towards lack, focused on the contrast. It's that physical mind, if you will. But as you move towards opening these channels, right, there's a point where the mind changes and it's no longer focused on the physicality of life. There is a movement from the physical to the subtle energies. Yeah, and you're able to really sense what's really going on. I've got an opportunity to create, and the joy of that starts to bubble. And then as that joy starts to bubble, because you really start to see, as intuition opens you up, you really start to see. Then you begin to know before it even shows up. The faith is there. And that feeling comes just like they say. Pray as if it's already done. You start getting that feeling because the intuition is downloaded to you and you really got the feeling. Because you're opening up your energy centers. All right, let's do that. Let's open up these energy centers. And with the practice, we are in the action of breaking through. As the founder is rumbling, we're in the action of breaking through. When you drop into the breath, you're breaking through the limits. Just come with your spine nice and tall. How you doing? You all right? Yeah. And you, when you read the text, it says it's good to be involved in consciously breathing and having some, whether it's the long deep breath, which we're going to start out with as a foundational breath, and we'll go to the alternate nose breathing. Yeah, then we're going to go to opening up the central channel. The alternate nose breathing does affect the central channel, but it opens up the left and right channel as well as balancing out the brain. I mean, it's a very deep practice in itself when you dive into it. We're going to use it from the long deep breath, opening up, because the long deep breath is part of the other breathing practices. So we're going to be in that long deep breath, going to the alternate nose breathing, then to the spinal flex, opening up the central channel. And we'll see where we are there. How does that feel? Diving into those 3 breaths, and maybe we'll do a short meditation for balancing. This is all about balancing as we're preparing for the sun to radiate its fullness through us, so we're ready. You know, we're ready to activate summertime with the work of our dreams, the work of our inspirations, the work of our soul. Yeah, okay. Just let your hands rest palm up. Bring the index finger and thumb to touch like so. Close your eyes and just begin a long, deep breath. So as we want this to be a clearing breath, you'll have your exhale be a little longer than the inhale. Sometimes they like to have it as a ratio of 1 to 2. So the exhale is twice as long as the inhale. Just feel the awareness of that in the beginning. So for the long, deep breath, opening up the abdomen, letting it relax, feeling the opening of the lungs and diaphragm pushing on the digestive organs. Ribs begin to expand. And then in the upper chest, shoulders may rise just a little bit to complete that inhale. And then you relax the shoulders down. Feel the ribs relax. And draw the belly button towards the spine gently. So allow the breath to flow without making a sound. You really want to move the nervous system into a relaxed state. Not force it to do anything with this particular breath. It's not necessarily an activating breath, but we're moving more into a clearing, cleansing breath. We're just doing a few here to warm up the respiratory muscles. Open up the energy centers to receive the life force and consciousness. And take a long, deep breath here. Hold that breath at the top. Exhale. Inhale deeply. Hold the breath at the top. Exhale. So this on the journey of breaking through limits, when we come to be still, just focus on the breath, removing from the limitations of the physiology, the neurophysiology programmed into the medulla for survival. We must keep breathing to live. So the limiting instinctual tendencies around survival, we begin to break through those and rise into the upper cortex being conscious. Breathe, allowing us to move into our creative centers. And what we're recognizing the voice is as an expression of creativity, literally, as a pure expression of creativity. So that long, deep breath is literally breaking through. So if you find yourself in an overwhelming situation, I was talking to someone today who was looking for encouragement and needed help. Allow yourself that opportunity to get still. And I guarantee you the inspiration will come, even if it's a phone call, even if it's that phone call. So next we're going to move into this alternate nose breathing. It is said to be one of the first breathing exercises described in classical yogic texts. It is an energy flow that allows a clearing of the energy channels. Nadi Shodhana is what it is called in the yogic text. Nadi means energy channel. Shodhana means to cleanse or to purify. So this is a practice where these subtle energy channels are purified and also regulated, which is really important when we're in a high energy time, where the financial system is doing one thing, our health system is doing another thing, our government and political systems are doing another thing, and military systems are doing another thing, and we have social systems and our family systems. And how do we find that place of peace so we can really have ears to hear our own creative voice? And this is where purifying these channels and then regulating the energy really comes in. So it's very simple. Come with your spine tall again. Left hand, we're going to engage in a hand position that invokes the energy of knowing self. Yeah. And then we're going to take the right hand and tuck in the middle finger and index finger into the mound of the thumb. We're going to be using these two fingers, the thumb and the ring finger. I'm going to close the right nostril with the thumb. Inhale to the left. Close the left with the ring finger. Exhale a little longer out the right. There's a little longer duration of the exhale. And we're going to inhale right. Close right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale left. Okay, so that's how it's going to flow. If anyone has any issues with the deviated septum or just feeling congested today and it doesn't allow for the alternate nose breathing in a comfortable way, if there's any other issues that prevent you from experiencing this in a very peaceful way, then imagine as you inhale without putting the right hand into the picture. Just keep the right hand in Gyan Mudra, that same mudra you were doing with the left, and imagine you're inhaling through the left, and imagine you're exhaling through the right, and imagine in right and exhaling left. So hold it in your imagination. And it has the same effect on your nervous system. And you may even notice that you begin to feel the breath in each nostril. Okay, for those that are using your hands, bring your thumb to the right nostril, close, inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale left. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Last cycle. Inhale left. Hold. Close left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Hold. Close right. Exhale left. Drop the right hand down. Put it in Gyan Mudra. Inhale both nostrils. Hold that breath at the top. And exhale. Allow your breath to be known. And just tune in to what it feels like to consciously breathe, what it feels like to move through the limiting protocol of your survival instincts in the medulla into the upper cortex of your brain, where you tune into your creative purpose of being here, where the faculties are that allows you to secrete neurotransmitters that move your perception beyond the physical. Mm. I think we'll leave it there for today. Listening. These are two very powerful breaths, even though they're very simple. So I invite you to be with these different breathing patterns. 3, 6, 9, 18 minutes, 27 minutes, 31 minutes. See, you can extend beyond what you are used to, but in terms of focusing the mind longer than you may be accustomed. Stretch yourself a bit, challenge yourself a little bit, and see how you feel when you do that, especially if you have a lot going on and you want to get up and go do this, and you want to get up and make that call, you want to get up and make something happen because you need it to happen. Just take a moment to be still. There's an emerging image as I talk to you about my contemplation on this line in the 23rd Psalm. He prepares the table for me in the presence of my enemies. And I thought about what are those enemies? Could those enemies be my thoughts? I had that feeling, not necessarily outside of me, but what's going on inside of me, creating limitations. And that's where these limitations are coming from, that we're breaking through. First are these thoughts that we carry around that nobody knows about. Yeah. So our topic today, we dive into how to break through limits and find our creative voice. So getting still, a long deep breath. Allow us to quiet the nervous system so that we can open up energy centers and clear them out with the alternate nose breathing. And then that allows us to be in a higher vibrational state of awareness. Therefore, we will no longer witness the limits. We will be aware of our ability to create and recognize that this voice is the power of our creation. What is spoken out loud and what is spoken inside. Yeah. Because you may hear that intuition as a voice, and it may guide you creatively. Yeah, on the journey of expanding. So the major keys are to practice coming to that stillness, especially when the mind is scrambling to figure something out. And you may need to figure it out really quick. What I'm saying to you is, get still. It says, be still and know I am God. And, from Kundalini Yoga teachings, there's this sense of be still and know that I am the generator, organizer, and deliverer, or destroyer of life. There's something about that stirs around in me, that awakens something that is true. Maybe it does for you as well. But more importantly, is the embodiment of it, which is the breath. Here is this creative essence and energy called consciousness and life force. It's giving you the ability to create. So what we're saying is we're moving through the sense of lack, those limits, and into our abilities, which are creative abilities. All right? So we have come into stillness, we have activating that breath so that we move beyond survival into creative mode, breaking through with the breath. All right, champions, lovers, creators, activators. Till next time. Look forward to seeing you around the circle of love. Tell your family and friends if it's of value to you, share it so we can step into our ways to elevate consciousness around this planet. That is the goal of mine, for every being to be spiritually empowered. Knowing these abilities within that can generate the miracles and step into the creative life that you've been given. Let's drop into our prayer for peace around those waters of life. As we pray out, thank you, Creator. Thank you for the waters of life that are bubbling up from the springs that are filling all over the earth. She's receiving the life-giving chi, the earth chi that is flowing in such a way where her springs are bountiful, and the children are playing in crystal cool waters, and families, caregivers of these children have enough water to bathe these children with love, to clean their structures and their houses where they dwell, which keeps them safe and able to grow and create solutions to the problems they face. The families can be connected to each other in peace and love in their sanctuary, where the waters flow and allows them to nourish themselves with beautiful food that is very nourishing and empowering and strengthening for their bodies. Thank you so much for the joy that flows across their face, even though they are facing challenges. You know they have everything they need to serve their soul. We feel this, we see this. We give thanks for it as we feel it in our own life. Thank you for these ancient teachings and these sacred ways to help us remember the way this body has been designed to operate as a way for us to experience our infinite capacity as energy beings. Thank you. We love you, we love you, we love you. We ask this energy to go out to all our families and all our relations. Ashe, 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 so it is. Home the bless all our relations. Namaste, the magnificence and the sacredness in me. Recognize the magnificence and the sacredness in you. Thank you for taking time to be here. Spread your gift, spread your love. Hallelujah, as we celebrate. One love.